What's going on, hockey friends? We are back, and this is the second part of the two videos I'm making on Shane Wright. In the first video we talked about what makes him so good and what impact he can have for whatever team drafts him. So if you want to learn more about him as a player, I will link that in the description. But in this video I'll be talking about what teams need him the most, and I'm going to talk about the 3 teams that have the best odds to win the lottery, and then a few other scenarios I find interesting. Alright, let's start off with Montreal. Now the Habs have the best odds to win the lottery, and given that the draft will be held in Montreal, I'm kind of hoping they win the lottery as well. But how would Shane Wright fit in with the Canadiens? The thing is that they already have one of the better young centers in the league in Nick Suzuki, and he's signed long term, so if you add Shane Wright and have Suzuki and Wright as your 1-2 punch at center, that is very good and something you build a franchise with. Neither of them are super dynamic Art Ross winning type of centers, but they make their teammates better, they compete hard, their two-way game is superb, and put Cole Caulfield on one of their lines and you would look very dangerous going forward. To be able to have Caulfield and his shooting ability on one line and then have Shane Wright and his shooting ability on the second line is a luxury not every team has, and it could very well become a reality for Montreal. Shane Wright in Montreal makes sense, and if they win the first overall pick, they should draft them and not trade that pick away. Obviously, I don't think they will, but I'm just saying. The Coyotes have the second best odds to win the lottery, and if there's a team that deserves to win the lottery after all they've been through this year and what's coming next for them, it's Arizona. They just need something to get excited about, and a first overall pick is a pretty good reason to get excited. Now the big question is, would anyone care? I'm sorry to all the Coyotes fans out there, and no offense, but you're kind of the laughingstock of the NHL right now. A first overall pick playing in a 5,000 seat arena just doesn't sound all that exciting from the outside. But regardless, how would he fit in with the Coyotes? If anything, the impact he would have is bigger than what he would have on the Habs or any other team with a realistic chance to win the lottery. He would become the face of that franchise, the face of a new era, and something you can sell to the city and to the fans. On the ice, yes, he would obviously have an impact, but Arizona isn't really competing for playoff spots at the moment, and I don't think they will for the next few seasons. But the Coyotes are building for the future. They have 3 first round picks in this year's draft, and then another 4 picks in the second round, and I mean, that's 7 out of 62 picks in the first 2 rounds, so they can definitely build something special here. And to have Shane Wright as the face of this new Arizona Coyotes franchise would be a massive win for the organization, and the pressure on Wright wouldn't be as high as it would be in Montreal, for example. I mean, they're kind of polar opposites when it comes to their markets, so Wright could take his time to become that elite first line center that he has the potential to become. So Seattle didn't have as good of a season as I thought they would, but if you look at the bright side, they have a chance to draft Shane Wright. They already have Matty Beniers, who's a very promising center. He's already made his NHL debut and will be a regular for the Kraken in this coming season, and if you add Shane Wright, you have 2 of the better young centers in hockey right now. Shane Wright will probably end up being the better center, but both of them have really high ceilings, and if you can have Beniers and Wright as your 2 centers for the next 10-12 years, you're in a pretty good position. You can build 2 really good lines around them, and Seattle has 4 second round picks in this year's draft, and they can definitely find a steal there. Just like with Arizona, I don't think there's too much pressure from the fan base that Wright has to be a superstar immediately, but that's just how I see it from the outside, so if there's any Seattle fans watching this, let me know what your expectation of Wright would be in his first season. Detroit only have the 8th best odds to win the lottery, and given their abysmal lottery luck over the years, I don't see a world where they win, but if against all odds they were to win the lottery, it would complete their rebuild. If there's anything the Red Wings prospect pool is missing, it's that elite center prospect. Joe Veleno is 22 now, and he's not going to become a first or second line center, so adding Shane Wright would complete the prospect pool and be a massive addition to the Red Wings lineup. And imagine him and Dylan Larkin as the 1-2 punch. It's the same as it would be in Montreal, not super dynamic, but still very good. And then you add in Lucas Raymond and Jacob Vrana on the wings, and you have Seider and Edvinsson. Yeah, it would probably be unfair to the rest of the league, but looking at it rationally, it's what the Red Wings are missing. While the Ducks are celebrating the career of Ryan Getzlaf, if they win the lottery, they have a lot to be excited for in the future. Not only do you have one of the most entertaining players in the entire league in Trevor Zegras, you also have one of the better center prospects in Mason McTavish, so adding Shane Wright might feel a bit over the top, but like I said, you just lost Ryan Getzlaf, and while it's hard to imagine someone who's that iconic and who's meant so much to that organization to be replaced, Shane Wright could be a pretty worthy replacement. And the Ducks are looking like they can be a pretty exciting team to watch in a few years. Imagine adding Wright to a lineup of Trevor Zegras, Troy Terry, Sonny Milano and Jamie Drysdale. That's a core that if they reach their potential would be pretty hard to match. Yeah, the Ducks only have a 3.5 chance to win the lottery, so I wouldn't get too excited. But even if you miss out on Wright, you still have Mason McTavish, so you will be totally fine in Anaheim. And those are the teams I think would be good fits for Shane Wright. If you're wondering why I didn't talk about the Flyers or the Senators, it's because I'm planning on making dedicated videos on them and their future outlook, regardless if they get Wright or not, because they're still getting a really good prospect at the draft and they're interesting teams as a whole, and I think they deserve their own videos. So let me know in the comments what you think. What's the best fit for Shane Wright? Talk to me in the comments below and I will see you in the next one.